This is Lisbon, the birthplace of Portuguese surfing, and for years the epicenter of surfing in the country. It was here that surfing arrived and then spread across a now surf-obsessed nation. So this video shows what surfing on the edge of a city of 3+ million inhabitants actually looks like. So Lisbon city itself is actually slightly inland and it's not actually on the coast, at least not on the surf exposed part of the coast. So this bit here is the main city centre, and then all the surf breaks or main surfing zones are spread out around there. On the west coast you've got Praia Guincho, you know, very exposed westerly facing beach break. To the south of Lisbon you've got Costa da Caparica, which again westerly facing, super exposed stretch of beach. It's sort of separated all by these groins and you get punchy banks in between all of them. And then most famously, right in the middle, you have Carcavelos, the very beach where locals first began surfing in Portugal as early as the 1950s. As locals discovered that their coastline was extremely consistent and perfectly shaped for surfing, beaches such as Carcavelos became the city's main surfing hubs. And the proximity to the capital made Lisbon a centre for surf culture. And by the 80s and 90s, the area had exploded with surf schools, surf camps, rental places, and was a perfect spot where the convenience of big city living met perfect waves. Once you head west past Carcavelos, you pass any number of reefs and beaches that can all work in different swells, eventually into Cascais and then the west coast. You know, from Lisbon as well, you're 40 minutes from the World Surfing Reserve at Ericeira, super famous stretch of coast with loads and loads of waves, really consistent. About an hour north of Lisbon, you've got the world famous Peniche as well. So in Lisbon, you're so close to so many other like world-class surf zones. Generally speaking, in summer, you've got pretty small, mushy waves. It's generally when you've got to head to beaches that are westerly facing to pick up more swell. During winter, obviously Portugal gets slammed with storms and solid swells, you know, all those same swells that light Nazaré up, and those same swells all hit Lisbon. And so quite often you've got to find protection. And beaches like Carcavelos are sort of protected, but if the swell's solid, like there's going to be some solid waves in there. And then if you're in the know, you can find a bit more shelter. There's a few more protected spots as well, like in that zone. But if it's really big, it is a pretty tricky zone to score really good waves unless you're really in the know. So sort of between those seasons, so spring and autumn are really good times to score waves in Lisbon, because you can often get like the best of both worlds. You know, you can start surfing like the more exposed beaches, and you can also surf the more sheltered beaches on the bigger days. To be honest, it's one of the most hectic lineups I've ever seen in my life. Like, just so condensed and so much surfing happening that like not shouldn't be out there, but like people just way over their head in terms of their ability compared to the waves they were surfing. You know, had to do a couple of different rescues, saw people getting pushed into like double overhead drainers and just nose diving, absolute chaos. And I managed to pick off one or two. It was really hard for my partner to film because of the glare. This one here, I was so close to making it. Like the barrel was so wide and green, it's so beautiful. I almost like forgot to pump. So I just kind of like stood there and just like fell into the foam ball eventually. But yeah, it was quite cool to get that one, even though there's so many people out there around me. The water's always a bit cold, so I'd suggest having a 4.3, maybe boots in the heart of winter. In summer, you can get away with a 3.2, but even in summer when it's hot on land, it's never that warm in the water. So yeah, I'd always recommend having a 4.3 at least as backup. So for our trip, we stayed at Outside Cascais, which is just outside of Lisbon. It's located closer to Praia Guincho, so in the summer, when you've got small swell, you're really close to a really consistent, really beautiful beach. We found it to be a super quiet, super relaxing space to be in. All the rooms have got workspaces. There's a co-working space as well on the main property. You've got amazing views, you know, lovely rooms, nice lounge areas, kitchen, pool. There's even a sauna actually at this one. You've just got everything you need to be productive and be close to some really fun waves. Thanks guys for our stay, and thanks for sponsoring this episode. I'll leave the link in the description where you can check them out. You know, airport wise, the airport is right there in the city, so it's very accessible. If you're living in Lisbon and you want to fly to other places to go and get waves, or you need to go back home, it's not the most enjoyable city to drive around. I find driving in cities really stressful. Obviously loads of traffic, complicated one-way systems, there's trams. To be honest, I'd try and avoid driving in Lisbon. I'd recommend parking at one of the beaches or a train station on the outskirts of the city if you're not staying in there, and then just jumping on the train. We got the train from Carcavelos, we just parked our van at the station and then just caught the train for a few euros into the city from there. And then the transport systems are all really, really good. Obviously, you know, in such a big city, transport's really, really easy. You've got the trains, the trams, and yeah, taxis, buses. You've got everything you need. We found the trains to be the easiest transport to use. And also on the trains, you can take surfboards. So it's not actually uncommon to see people traveling with board bags and boards under their arms, which is really cool because in a lot of cities it's like not allowed for whatever reason. The only thing is, if you're trying to go more into the outskirts, like if you are going to Praia Guincho and you don't have your own transport, it is a little bit harder. It does kind of restrict you to being at the beaches and the places where there are train stations, and then you've got to walk a little bit. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind as well. So yeah, as well, heading into the city, really cool city to check out. Me and my partner were not really city people, but it's really cool to head into Lisbon just for an afternoon, you know, after you've got your fix of waves at one of the surrounding beaches. Head into Lisbon, we saw how pastels are made up close, it was really cool. Went to a few viewpoints where you can see right over the city, had a walk around, tried not to get run over by trams, which is actually more difficult than it sounds in Lisbon. So yeah, if you like that city life and you want to get waves as well, Lisbon is the perfect place to do it. So yeah, in terms of a cost breakdown for say a week in Lisbon, generally speaking, if you were to go to Lisbon for 7 days, this would be a good amount for what you're going to spend. So that's your accommodation, so staying outside in Cascais, a week of food, maybe a tank of fuel, you know, if you're driving between outside and some of the beaches and driving into the city, and then just other bits and bobs as well, like transport, parking, that kind of thing. Everywhere in Lisbon you've got to pay for parking. So yeah, that is kind of a good overview of what you could expect to spend for a week surf trip to Lisbon. So yeah, that's a quick insight into one of the best surfing cities out there. If you want to get waves, get work done, and want to have that city life comfort, then Lisbon is a wicked, wicked place to do it. Any questions or any comments, please fire away down below. Otherwise, it's goodbye from me, and I'll see you in the next episode.